Hi guys. Okay, we're back with Superfudge today, and we are on chapter 4. When we left off on chapter 3 a couple days ago, we found out that they had more good news, and Mom and Dad told Peter that they were going to move to New Jersey, which he was not very happy about. And we also found out that Fudge was going to start school a little bit early, which Peter was also not happy about. So Mom talked to him and made it a little bit better. But let's see what's going to happen in this chapter. This chapter, chapter 4, is called Off the Wall. I told Jimmy Fargo about Princeton. You're moving, he asked. He couldn't believe it. Not exactly, I answered. We're just going for a year. You're moving, he said. I can't believe it. Neither can I. You don't have to move, he said. You could stay here if you really wanted to. You think I don't want to stay? I don't know anybody in Princeton. You think I want to go to some school where I don't have any friends? Then tell your mother and father you refuse to go. That's what I'd do. But where would I live? With me. But where would I sleep? On the floor, Jimmy said. It's good for your back to sleep on the floor. I thought about sleeping on the floor for a year, and about living with Jimmy and his father, Mr. Fargo. He used to be an actor, but now he's a painter. He paints these weird-looking pictures of circles and triangles and squares. He's so absent-minded that he only buys food when Jimmy reminds him. One time, I looked in the refrigerator and all they had was an empty bottle of wine, half an apple, and a salami and onion sandwich. So old that it had turned green. If you don't stay, I'm never going to talk to you again, Jimmy said. I mean, never. He bent down and tied his shoelace. Jimmy's laces were always undone. And I'm going to tell Sheila Tubman she can have your rock in the park, he added. You wouldn't. Try me. Some friend you're turning out to be. Same for you. Jimmy turned and walked away, his hands stuffed deep into his pockets. I thought of plenty more to say as soon as he was gone, but instead of running down the street after him, I went home. Is that you, Peter? Mom called. No. I went to my room and slammed my bedroom door. I was glad that I hadn't bothered to hang up my map of the world again. I took out my Creskin crystal. Jimmy gave it to me on my last birthday. When I can't fall asleep at night, I hold the chain above the lucid base and watch the small ball swing from side to side. And I concentrate on it until my eyes get heavy and I want to close them. I open my window enough to throw out my Creskin crystal. I imagine it smashing into a zillion pieces on the sidewalk below. But suppose I had trouble falling asleep in Princeton. What would I do? I put it back in its box. There had to be a better way to get even with Jimmy Fargo. 2 hours later, I was still thinking up ways to get back at him when the doorbell rang. And it was Jimmy. Changed my mind, he said. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, me too. I was disappointed, that's all. I don't want you to move. But there's nothing I can do about it. It's not your fault. That's what I was trying to tell you. I know. Well, my father says Princeton's just an hour by train. That's right. So I won't give Sheila your rock after all. Thanks. She wouldn't know what to do with it anyway. But I'm not going to use it until you come back. Okay, I won't use my Creskin crystal until I get back either. Deal, Jimmy said, and we shook on it. The next morning, when I was going down in the elevator with Turtle, Henry said, I'm going to miss you and your family. Bet you won't miss Fudge, I said. Oh yes, even that little devil, Henry said. I remember the day when he got into my elevator and pushed all the buttons at once. Jammed up the works for 2 hours. Henry laughed. He sounded like a seal lion. I always expect him to slap his arms together when he laughs. And I'll miss that baby of yours, too. Won't get to see her grow up now. Sure you will, I told him. We're only going for a year. Oh, that's what they all say, Henry muttered. Outside it was gray and humid. I wondered if the sun was shining in Princeton. As I walked Turtle down the street, he sniffed here and there, trying to find a place he liked. I encouraged him to use the curb. In Princeton, he'll be able to go whenever he likes. I thought, maybe I won't even have to walk him. I'll just open the door and he'll run out into the yard, and I won't have to clean up after him either. Ever since New York City passed what I called the doggy-do law, walking Turtle hasn't been that much fun. At first, when I heard that every dog owner had to clean up after his own dog, I told Mom that I wouldn't be able to walk Turtle anymore. Mom said, that's too bad, Peter, because if you don't walk him, who will? I was hoping Mom would volunteer. I was hoping she'd say, I know how grossed out you feel about the idea of picking up Turtle's dog tubes. But she didn't. Instead, she said, look, Peter, you're going to have to make a tough decision. If you want to keep Turtle, you're going to have to clean up after him. Otherwise, Daddy and I will have to find a nice farm somewhere in the country. And I didn't wait for her to finish. Send Turtle to a farm, I shouted. Are you kidding? He's a city dog. He's my dog. Well then, Mom said, smiling, and I got the point. Mom bought me a contraption called a pooper scooper. It's a kind of shovel attached to a baggie. And when Turtle does his thing, I scoop it up and get it into the baggie. Tie it up and toss it into the trash basket. At first, I made a mess of myself trying to get it to work. But now I'm a regular expert. Still, it's pretty disgusting. Almost as disgusting as Tootsie's diapers. I wish I could train Turtle to use the toilet. Especially in winter when I stand around freezing while he takes his time. I trying to make up his mind. I know it's not Turtle's fault. He can't help being a dog. And when he sleeps at the foot of my bed or licks my face, it's all worth it. Just as Turtle was finishing, Sheila Tubman came skipping up the street. I hear you're moving, she said. I nodded and scooped up his stuff. Good. I was afraid it was just a rumor. I can't wait until you're gone. Then I won't have to smell your yucky dog anymore. My dog's not yucky, I yelled, tying up the poop bag. Did you ever smell him, Peter? Yes, all the time. Well, I guess you don't notice because you smell so much like him yourself. She started skipping away. Hey, Sheila, I called. Yes, she turned around. Stuff it. Peter Hatcher, you are disgusting. That's better than what you are, I called, enjoying myself. Oh, yeah? What's that? She asked. That's for me to know and you to find out. Haha, very funny, she said. You and your yucky dog are both very funny. Sicker, Turtle, I said. Turtle growled and started barking, which was very funny because he doesn't know what sick her means. But Sheila didn't know that. He didn't know. Let me read that again. But Sheila didn't know that he didn't know. So she started screaming and running toward our building. And when Turtle saw her go crazy like that, he took off after her, barking up a storm, thinking it was some kind of game. He pulled his leash right out of my hand, so I had to chase him, calling, Turtle! Turtle, down, boy! Because he was already jumping up and down on Sheila, trying to lick her face. Sheila kept right on screaming. Finally, Henry came out and asked, What's going on here? He pulled Turtle off of Sheila and held him for me. I picked up the end of the leash and patted his head. It's Peter Hatcher, Sheila said. He told his dumb dog to sick me, and he did. He did not, I said. He did too. You don't even know what sick means, I said. I certainly do. Oh, yeah? What? It means it's like giving germs to a person, Sheila said. The one who he sicks gets sick, too. I started laughing. Did you hear that, Henry? Did you hear what she said? I heard, Henry said, and I want you to keep your dog outside until he calms down. He turned to Sheila. Come on, honey. I'll take you upstairs first. I'm so glad he's moving, Sheila sniffed. I hope he never comes back. There should be a law. I laughed all the way to the corner. I think Turtle did too. On the morning of the move, Mom woke me up at 6 o'clock. I still had to pack my carton of special things, but first I wanted some juice. I'm always thirsty first thing in the morning. On my way to the kitchen, I passed Titsy's crib. She was watching her mobile and gurgling away. She was also covered with trading stamps. They were stuck to her arms, her legs, her belly, her face. She even had one on top of her head and one pasted to the bottom of each foot. Hey, Mom, I called. What is it? It's Tizzy. But I didn't wait for her to finish. Hurry up, Mom, I called. Mom raced in, buttoning up her skirt. Oh, no, when she saw Tizzy, then she shouted, Fudge! Hello, Mommy, Fudge said, crawling out from under Tootsie's crib. He was wearing his disguise. Black eyeglass frames attached to a rubber nose with a stick-on beard and mustache. He'd sent away for it months ago. It cost four cereal box tops, plus 25 cents. Did you do that, Tootsy? Yes, Mommy. He was using his best little boy voice in the world. Why? Mom asked. Tootsy told me to. He climbed up the side of her crib and reached in, shaking Tootsy a little. Didn't you tell me to? Good girl, good little baby. Tootsy said, ah, and she kicked her legs up into the air. That was a very naughty thing to do, Mom told Fudge, and I'm very angry at you. Fudge kissed my mother's hand. I love you, Mommy. That's not going to work today, Mom told him. I always love you anyway, he said, kissing the other hand. You're the best Mommy in the whole world. Don't you love your little boy? Yes, I love you, she said, but I'm still very angry at you. She smacked Fudge on his backside. He pouted for a minute, about to cry, then changed his mind. Didn't hurt, he said. You want one that will hurt? Mom asked. No. Then don't you ever do anything like that again. Do you understand? Yes. Hey, Mom, I said, I thought you don't believe in violence. I don't ordinarily, Mom said, but sometimes I forget. Look, it's okay with me if you want to spank Fudge, I said. Personally, I think a spanking a day would be good for him. No, Fudge shouted, holding his rear end. Why'd you really do it? I asked him. I want to trade her in for a two-wheeler like yours, he told me. You can't trade her in, Mom said. She's a person. She's not a book of stamps. She looks like a book of stamps, Fudge said. Mom picked up Tootsy. Well, doesn't she? Fudge asked again, and I could tell Mom was trying hard not to laugh. You know something, Fudge? I said. You're off the wall. You are really off the wall. Off the wall? Off the wall, he sang, dancing around Mom and Tootsy. Fudgy's off the wall. Tootsy laughed. Either that or she hiccuped. It's hard to tell the difference. I followed Mom into the bathroom where she set Tootsy in the sink. 2 years of trading stamps down the drain, I said. Goodbye, stamps, Fudge called from the doorway. Goodbye. I'm not going to save stamps anymore, Mom said. I'm going to find a grocery store that gives away something else. An hour later, Dad came back with the U-Haul, and we loaded it and were on our way. As soon as we were through the Lincoln Tunnel, Fudge started singing. M-A-I-N-E spells Princeton. No, it doesn't, I said. It spells Maine. I know, Fudge said. I'm just making up a song. Maybe you could make it up in your head, Dad suggested, and sing it to us when we get to Princeton. Then it will be a surprise. A surprise, Fudge said. I like surprises. He was quiet for a minute. Then he said, You know what, Daddy? I'm off the wall. Who told you that? Dad asked. Peter. Didn't you? He asked me. Yeah, I said. I sure did. And you sure are. I'm off the wall, Fudge repeated. Just like Peter's map of the world. He rested his head against Mom's shoulder, and I could hear him slurping away on his fingers. He was still wearing his disguise. That's the end of the chapter. So, what do you think? Do you agree with Peter's perception of Fudge, that he is off the wall? He kind of does some crazy things. He wants to trade Tizzy for a bike. He's pretty smart for a little kiddo his age. He's making up a song. He wears a disguise. He hides. He's very silly. And then I'll remind you, you might have forgotten, but in the first book, he used all of his mom's trading stamps on the Yarbies suitcase. He covered them in stamps, and they were pretty mad about that. And that's when Dad was not on the advertising business of the Juicio company anymore. And also, Sheila and Peter have their long-standing hatred for each other, and we'll see if that ever changes. But so far, it hasn't. All right. Go ahead and click the link below and review for today. And tomorrow we will be doing chapter 5, okay? I will see you all. Bye.